And we're back again.
Hello. How's it going?
It's going. It's like I haven't seen you at all this week, and that's
Yeah.
if you actually knew how much time I've seen this man this week, you'd think that he was like my actual family. We've had meetings in the morning. We've had meetings at 10:30 at night. We're friends now.
Yeah. we are brothers in arms.
We 100%. That's a really good way of putting it.
All right. I love the Fridays. I always say that. I love it. I love every Friday because it gets us the opportunity to really give the community a detailed update on everything. So I look forward to it, even though it means a sleepless night the day before. So
right, we had a meeting last night, and you talked to me about that. But yeah, I also like to look at it from our perspective. This is like a good way of looking back at all what we've done in a week, because like every week we're doing a lot, and for the people at home may not see the fruits of the efforts quite yet, but we're definitely working.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, I will be here. I have questions, and for people that are watching that have questions, you can drop them in Discord in the question channel. You can throw them in the YouTube chat channel. I'll be collecting the entire stream, and then at the end, you'll see me again, and we'll talk through your questions. So, all right, Nick, I'll see you a little bit.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another VTRU download. This is season 1, episode 9. It's November the 10th, 2023. I am Nick Kalyani, project lead, coming to you from sunny Mountain View, California. All right, let's get started. The first thing I want to do today is pay respect to our service members in uniform. Tomorrow is Veterans Day, and I know a number of you in our community are veterans or active, and I salute you, and I thank you so much for our service. The YouTubers that brought us on here told me about this tradition of wearing red on Fridays to show respect, and so that's what I will always do on every Friday. At these downloads, I'll be wearing my red shirt. But if you or your family members are in the service or have lost someone in the service, my gratitude, my thanks to you, and we are forever in your debt. So thank you so much for that. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about a meeting I had yesterday. It was in the evening, and it brought me a lot of joy because it was, first of all, with a member of our community, and second of all, I got an amazing gift. So let me show you what that is. This here is Gus Navarro. Gus, if you're in the audience, hi. And Gus and Andrea made me this beautiful mug. So it's got my face on the other side. I don't know if I can turn it around. There we go. Yeah, cool. So my chai. So I love it. So thank you so much, Gus. Incredible. I think the chai even tastes a little better drinking from this mug. So thank you so much, Gus. It's a pleasure to have someone from the community locally, and this gift was amazing. I also want to recognize that today is the first day of Diwali. It's a biggest festival in India for Hindus, and specifically today is a festival, a part called Dhanteras. If you break that word up, Dhan means wealth, and Teras means the 13th day of the lunar calendar, which is followed for this festival. Here's the significance of this. Today, most Indians consider it very auspicious, and they welcome Lakshmi, who is their sort of goddess of wealth, and they go and buy anything that is of value, like gold, silver, a car, a computer, etc. So the thought process is that if you do that today, you'll be able to continue to do that for the rest of the year. You will be very wealthy. So I know one thing you can buy. You can go buy a booster. So just kidding. But happy Dhanteras to everybody. All right. With that out of the way, let's look at our agenda for today. And Zach, are you around? Come on up here.
I am here.
All right, great. So one thing I do want to do also is recognize and thank Zach for his service. So appreciate that very much, sir.
Thank you for paying your taxes, everyone in the Americas.
Yes, thank you for paying your taxes. I like
paying my salary. I appreciate you greatly. Yeah, no, my time of service was very, very cool. It was I was a bright-eyed, bushy-tailed 19-year-old trying to learn about global conflicts as an intelligence analyst in the Levant province, which is super relevant today. And I will say that without a doubt, it's been a huge impact on how I look at different cultures in this world, from how I greet people that may look different than me, whether they're in America or wherever I'm visiting. It has opened my eyes to so much. And then that really relates to art, because I truly believe that art in its many forms is how we express our culture, and how a lot less hate in this world can happen is if we open up our hearts to this culture and realize that we're all humans at the end of the day. So I do have to thank the United States Army for giving me the toolkit of seeing from everything in the world, everything outside of my purview, the cul-de-sac I grew up in, and that is much bigger than the small town in Michigan that I came from. So I do appreciate that. And all of my service members out there, when you meet another service member, you are 100% brothers for life, regardless. So thanks, Nick.
And I appreciate what you said about, peace and all that. I think it takes people who are in the armed forces to recognize that peace is really what we want, in this world. Like we are living right now where there's 2 wars being fought, and not only that, I always feel like, we've got so much hostility online, etc., and with people not willing to even look another human in the eye and treat them as another human being. We've come to that, and Vitruvio is, I feel, an antidote to that. Art is the antidote to all the animosity and all that in the world, and I hope we can get to a point where people start treating each other with civility and respect, and most importantly, kindness. I think kindness is something that we are missing a lot of in this world, and I hope that we can bring more of it back, because I think that can make us all be more peaceful, less stress free. And guess what? When you are peaceful and stress free, etc., you can be more successful in whatever it is you're trying to do. So
can't deny anything that you just said. It's very true. And yeah, I'm just to add on, it's, there's the tacky saying that the earth without art is just So and I fully believe that. That's where I've found myself as an adult, is getting into the art and culture scene, and that's where all my friends live, and I've done my various creative things, and it's like really what helps define me as a human. And then I just see all of the other people and their other expressions is how they say, hi, I'm a human too, regardless of what language, food we eat, what time zone we're in. It's all the same language. It's art, it's expression, and it's beautiful at the root of it.
Yep. I love that. All right, let's just dive into today's agenda here. We've got a full deck here as always. I'm going to start off with council and financial updates. What I did today, because there's so much material, I kind of consolidated the updates into a slide for you, just focusing on the main things here. So with marketing, we're very much focused right now on the promotions related to booster sales. That's an absolute laser-like focus. We have done the community-related promotions, and now we're going outward. We're going to start going out to other communities and really go out to influencers and things like that. With the creators, we've been working on the plan to onboard 2,500 of them in December. So we're going to call them sort of our Genesis artists. And that plan is now done. We are kind of putting together the material on it to share with everybody. And we will start that campaign on November 19th. So that's the week. We may start it a few days early, but officially the week of November 19th is when we kick off onboarding our creators. The validator team's been meeting, and I also had a good meeting with Baron. And one of the big key decisions is we can now move forward with KYC for all the validators, because we've concluded our deal with Synapse to get a bunch of KYC validations available, so we can start moving forward with that. We are also working on sort of the onboarding plan, etc. And as those become more concrete, we'll share more details with you. All right. With that out of the way, let's go into financial update. So because this is a middle of a pay period, there was no spending. So our spending occurs on the 1st and the 15th of every month. That's when we do the payroll and take care of all the expenses prior to that. So there was nothing here, but I want to give you a heads up. We're coming up on the 15th, so I want to tell you what's going to happen here. So the expenses which we have primarily are around essentially salaries for people, all the people who are doing all this work that you're going to hear about here. So the council and team leads salaries are part of that. And I have asked everyone to take voluntary reductions so we can keep our sort of burn rate low and manageable. So we're going to enforce that. Also, the external developer, web, marketing, legal, contractor dues will be up. So basically our staffing is only leads plus one person. Every other person contributing here is a contractor, an external team. And so they have to be paid. Otherwise, they will stop doing their work. We also have cloud and infrastructure expenses. And some good news, I've been working with my contacts, and as a result of that, we will soon be getting some Amazon Web Services credits. So we have our infrastructure, our servers, etc., on AWS, and so we'll be getting hopefully a fairly large AWS credit, which will allow us to use those dollars for other things and not have to pay Amazon. The additional thing you're going to see here, we are finalizing the quotes and the contracts, etc., on the marketing campaign that we are about to unleash to get more booster sales. And so that's the Web3 communities and impactful or influencers. That's one organization that will do it. And the second one is PR to traditional artists and art organizations, so that we solidify our sort of brand presence and start becoming more visible. Because if we don't start doing that now, and if we wait until like January, February to do it, we will lose precious time. So we have to lay out the runway. We have to talk to writers, bloggers, etc., and start getting our story in front of them, so that they'll start publishing around January, when we want to onboard more and more, like thousands and thousands of creators on here. So those are the projected expenses. All right, next up on the agenda is Senate seats voting. So you've probably seen requests for nominations and all that. So the idea here is to complete the Senate, which consists of 5 council leads plus 4 members of the community. 2 of those community member seats are taken, and we are now voting in 2 more. So we've gathered the nominations for it. So the first task was to filter those nominations and remove anybody who is not a holder. This is our governance charter. We essentially have only someone who is a holder who is eligible to take one of those seats. And if anyone's account was limited due to policy violations, they are also ineligible for this. We think it's fair to say that if you are essentially being disruptive in Discord, then you've already demonstrated that you cannot be a good leader. And the Senate is all about leadership. And so we want leaders in there. And that's why those were removed. So now we'll focus on the upcoming community vote. Only the holders can vote. Each of you will have 2 votes. And you must vote for 2 different nominees. If you choose not to use, one of your votes, that's fine. If you choose not to vote, prefer you vote, because apathy, voter apathy is not good in these scenarios. So we'd love for you to vote. We are figuring out the tech platform, because we really, really wanted to do this on MainNet, on chain, but there are some issues with essentially voting, because even though the gas is very, very low, there's still some gas required in wallets, and we aren't in a position right now to drop gas fees into everyone's wallet. That adds more work and more complexity. So we'll figure out a solution, and as soon as it's there, we'll announce it. Now, time is running out. We have only a few days to do it, so it will be very, very expedient. The top 2 nominees will get the community seat on the Senate for 90 days. So that's how it works. And their first order of business, they'll be added immediately to the multisig, creating a full 7 of 9 multisig. And they will vote on the expense liabilities I just presented. And hopefully they'll vote yes, because otherwise we can't spend money and we can't do any of the things we want to do on time. So that's what's happening with the Senate seats. All right, next up, we're going to talk about our MainNet RC1 activities. So as you have seen this slide before, we have 3 phases to MainNet. We've got phase 1 ready, phase 2 set, and phase 3 go. So we are at the tail end of phase 1. I would pretty much say we are done with it almost. Just got a couple of wrap-up things to do. So let's look at that. So with phase 1, so first of all, we kicked off RC1. It has been working very well. We've had no issues. We've deployed contracts on there. We've done bulk transactions. Things have been working quite well. We've done booster sales. Those are live on our mainnet right now. No issues there. The next thing that's coming up is our Swapper Dapp. That should be approximately November 15th. Give or take a couple days. Whenever you see a firm date here, please give or take a couple days, because not sure what technology problems, etc., might crop up, a deployment issue or something like that. So we want to be a little bit flexible on that, and we'll also launch Poet. Then we are working on getting through. I believe we have a resolution on how we're going to handle the BTC. So now it's just a matter of executing on that, so that by November 15th, we've got all that cleared out. All right. So let's talk about that Swapper Dapp. I want to make sure that in these DAO updates, you might find that sometimes I'm repeating information, but each time I add a little bit of nuance to it. The reason I want to repeat is because the audience might be different every time, and someone might not always catch one update, but might catch another. So I want to make sure everyone is informed. All right. So the Swapper Dapp is something we are working on. Actually, I'm working on it. So I'm building this one. And the idea here is to allow folks, before we do the Nexus NFT airdrop, to sort of clean up, if you will, their allocations and their wallets. So this has 3 primary functions. The first one is it allows you to transfer your OG allocation and your validator unlocked allocation to one existing OG wallet. So essentially consolidate, right? So you have a wallet A, and maybe you have 2 or 3 other wallets, and you've got allocations in there. Maybe you've got a validator. So what you can do is consolidate all of those into one. One of the requests I got is, can we also swap out the wallet? And the answer is, as highlighted here, you can swap out to a new wallet. So the only condition is it's got to be like 1 for 1. So we do not want to add more wallets to the mix of the OG total wallet list. So if you're bringing in a new wallet, it means one existing wallet goes out. Presumably, it's an empty one. So you can also, like when you bring in a new wallet, what we would do is swap out the entire token holdings for that existing one into the new wallet. So this is beneficial for folks who want to essentially use a new hardware wallet or something like that. That's the use case that we are trying to target there. The next thing is we will allow you to list your wallet and essentially your entire sort of allocation for a price. So you provide a price, and it can be in BUSD or USDT. This is only on Binance. We are not going to support Ethereum for this. And it will be listed so anyone else can go and buy that. Now, I got the feedback that, whoops, got that on here. I got the feedback that people thought that would essentially cannibalize our existing booster sales. I feel differently about it. I feel like this is really for folks who don't believe in our vision, who don't believe in me, and who really essentially are like, here's my allocation. I just want to get rid of it and I want to get out of it, and that's perfectly fine. You're entitled to that. And obviously, no one is going to pay more than $1.50 per token for it, because that's what you can buy a booster for. And I do not think it'll cannibalize booster sales, because the booster gives you way more benefits than you would get from just buying someone's allocation. Now, here's the benefit for people who will buy is you can increase the size of your allocation and then boost it. And so you get essentially scale up your allocation and your tokens as much as you possibly can. So I feel like having given it a careful consideration, talked about it with people, I feel like we still want to go with this plan. And we'll launch this the week of November 13, next week. And we'll keep it active until November 29th. And as always, look forward to your questions and feedback on this. All right, next update. I'm sure everyone's very excited, but we have an update on the Genesis sneakers. So first of all, the winners list has now been finalized, both for BSC and Ethereum. The final winners list is available at this link, VTRU.xyz/sneaker list. Let's go ahead and look at that list. So here's the BSC list. It hasn't changed. What we did do is in this spreadsheet, we added some columns which were not there before. And I think you'll find these columns useful. What we did was put the referral address column here. So if you want to go look, so this list is comprehensive. It's not just the sneakers, although there's a cutoff. So if you want to look for, your referral address, you can look for it in there. But this also tells you the quantity purchased, the sneakers eligible, and a running total. So if you see a number in the sneakers column next to your address, that's how many sneakers you're going to be eligible for. Now, we hit the 250 for BSC, but we didn't hit the one for ETH. However, we need to go into production with this. We need to start planning, etc. And so we couldn't wait on that. So the team discussed it, and here's the call we made. We essentially have the list here at 194 sneakers. So what we've done is now essentially cut off the Ethereum list. And if you go back to the BSC list, what we did was extend the remaining ones here. So if you see the ones between purple and pink, those are the extra sneakers. So if you previously were on BSC and did not get one, perhaps you got one now. So take a look at it. So that rounds things off, and we are now at 500. So we just we're not sure, right? We can't wait indefinitely until we get enough here. There's been an ample time for it. And the needle's not moving, but we need to get into production. So I think that's a fair decision. We are on Ethereum also. You can search for referrals and things like that. All of that is in here. So this is a straight download this morning from the database. So what you see in here is exactly what will happen in terms of booster allocations, etc. And by the way, we've been pretty good about that. We've been averaging around 24 hours, sometimes a little bit more, but most of the time people are able to get their boosters right away. Speaking of that, I want to recognize and thank this community for this amazing milestone. So we got to $500,000 in booster sales. So applause. Thank you so much. This is wonderful, amazing work. And I couldn't thank you enough. So our first goal is 3 million, and our stretch goal is 5 million. So we got a little ways to go, but this is the foundation we were looking for the community to give us a little bit of runway so we can execute on all those things that you just saw, like marketing, etc. So we need to do that at scale. And now we have the capital to be able to do that and get the rest of the capital in. So again, thank you from the bottom of my heart. All right. So now that we have the sneaker list finalized, how are we going to get you your sneakers? Well, we had a very in-depth meeting with Diverge Sneakers yesterday, and I want to share with you some of the results of that. So first of all, we agreed that there would be 2 sneaker styles, one high top and one, I guess, low top, low rise. And we wanted to give this option of the high rise one because it has much more surface area for art. So artists can do something very creative. So we have settled on 2 artists who are going to be doing the work. And you will find the artwork on both styles. So whichever style of shoe you choose, you'll also be able to choose the style of artwork you want. Either of those styles, they'll be available for you. In terms of how this is going to work out, let's talk about that. So here's the timeline. So what we are doing right now is working with the artists on getting them the specific templates, because this is not just a slap some artwork on a shoe thing. We've essentially got 2D templates of 3D shoes, and we are going to have the artists very carefully sort of custom create the artwork. Not only that, there's actually small, medium, and large templates so that the artists can effectively customize the placement of key elements in their art on the different shoes. So that's why it's going to take them a little bit of time. So we're going to give them the rest of the month to get that done. Now, the month of December, which actually traditionally is a very busy month for retailers, and it is for diverse sneakers also, being the holidays and Christmas, etc. Lots of people giving custom sneakers to their family members, friends, etc. So here's what Diverge is going to do for us. They're going to set up a custom VTRU page on their website, and they're going to give us claim codes for checkout. So probably close to 550 approximately, because we are going to have some other promotional giveaways and things like that also. And so we are going to set up a page where you connect your wallet. We will check if your wallet appears in that database I just showed you, those 2 lists. And if you do, you will be presented with one-time use claim codes. So don't be sharing those with anybody, because the moment they are used, they are gone, and you will be deprived of your sneakers. So don't be doing that. Actually, I can show you what it's going to look like here. So let's do this. They did this for another artist, and so I'll show you. So this is what they've done for another artist. So expect to see a page just like this. So here's an art. This is obviously not the VTRU one, but it's a good example. And what you'll be able to do is you'll essentially be able to go ahead and from this page choose the design, etc. So we'll have our 2 shoe designs here. You'll be able to choose the one you want, and you can choose your shoe size, etc. Add to cart, and then when you check out, that's when you'll be able to put your code in here, and that code will result in this total becoming 0. You do not pay for shipping. You don't pay for anything. You basically just choose your shoe, and I am told that it ships via DHL if you're in the United States. If you're elsewhere, I'm not sure. But from the time they finish manufacturing it to shipping it, like the actual shipment is like 3 days. So the manufacturer time varies based upon how many orders, etc. they have. So our goal is to essentially get you your sneakers in the month of January. That's what we are looking at right now. And I am probably going to visit Lisbon and do sort of a launch event of this, promotion of this with others in the art community. There's a lot of artists there, and I would love to promote what we are doing there. So there we go. That's the story with the sneakers. All right, moving on now. I want to give you a development update. I do these downloads and we talk about different dApps, etc. But I don't believe most people in the ecosystem understand the level of complexity and the breadth and the magnitude of the development that's going on. People kind of just think, oh yeah, it's a protocol, it's pretty easy. Like, it's not. It's complicated. And let me just show you the scope of what we're doing. So in order to get to where we are going, we have to build a very large number of smart contracts and a very large number of dApps. So I'm going to walk you through those. So we've got Swapper coming up and Poet also coming up in a few days. And then we are working on this big app, tentatively called Nexus. So that's the app that you will use with your in order to unlock the capabilities of your Nexus NFT. So that app has to have contracts that control all the vesting, control the movement of perks, control the rev share, and control voting. So there's a ton of logic, etc., that has to be built into these. So it's really, Nexus is not one contract, it's actually a collection of smart contracts. The next contract we'll be working on is Wrap VTRU. So after several talks with exchanges, etc., we determined it is not feasible for us to list VTRU on an exchange directly because none of them can support a rebasing token. Essentially, as VTRU owners, if you go to a centralized exchange, what you end up doing is giving the exchange your rebases because they hold your VTRU. And once you go to a centralized exchange, we're really talking about a database there, right? So if you've heard the phrase, not your private key, not your coins, and that's what centralized exchanges are about. So in order to mitigate that, we have this concept of a wrapped VTRU. So you get wrapped VTRU, and that's what you list on an exchange, and that's what you trade on an exchange. So when you come back out, the rebases are still there and waiting for you. So that's a smart contract we have to create. And then finally, the second row is a really large number of smart contracts that implement everything this protocol represents, right? So we are essentially saying that we are different from Ethereum, from Solana, from Tezos, etc., from all the marketplaces that exist there. So we are in effect creating all of that in one protocol. So OpenSea, Foundation, Blur, SuperAir, all those marketplaces, right? We don't like some of that functionality because it's essentially cookie cutter and a wrong approach. We fixed that, but now we also have to implement that. So we've got the asset base where every asset, whether it's visual arts, music, movies, books, etc., will be registered. Then we have creator base where every creator who wants to transact using e-commerce on our platform will be in there with a different KYC level, whatever KYC level they want to go in at. VTRU Studio, the application that allows them to actually onboard them. So this is the contract part of it, which is fairly substantial. VTRU Store, the actual marketplace, the smart contract associated with that. And VTRU Stream, the ability for people to use streaming platforms and devices like Apple TV or a token display or something like what you see behind me, and consume that, buy that and license it. So those are all smart contracts that have to be written, but that's not all, right? Like smart contracts are code on the blockchain, but in order to interact with that as humans, you need friendly, beautiful user experiences, and that requires a web app to be designed and built. And so for the Swapper, we have to do that. For Poet, we've already done that. The Nexus app has to be built. So this is going to be essentially our dashboard for all things around VTRU. The Nexus app will be the go-to app. Studio will be the go-to app for creators. Store will be the go-to app for collectors and art appreciators who want to buy actual artworks. A Stream is the go-to app where you compose your playlist of artwork, etc., and it gives you a link or it pushes it to your device. So as you can see, each of these rectangles represents many hours and actually a variety of different people working together in order to achieve this. So the scope of this is pretty massive, considering the fact that we are trying to get this done in a little under 60 days. So any one of these could be a project that lasts months, but we are doing this in a very capital constrained way, a very resource constrained way, and still are delivering a pretty high quality work. So I'm proud of our team, and I just wanted to give you an insight on the scope of what we're doing. It is very, very large. All right. Moving on to the agenda, what I want to do now is just reinforce some of the liquidity scenarios we talked about last week, but add a little more color to it now. So let's go there. So just to refresh your memory, what we have presented here is our constraints for how we want to approach things in terms of capital raise, etc. So our monthly burn rate, we can get by with a little less than 150K, but 150K is what we need in order to achieve our goals on time and with the quality we need. So you just saw that whole list of development things. You saw the marketing things we have to do. You saw the creator onboarding we have to do. Those things cost money, just plain and simple. There are no volunteers. People need to be paid. And so that's what the burn rate is all about. And I want to make sure we have at least a 12-month runway. That's what it's going to take in order for us to get to the point where we are reasonably stable. Last week, we worked on our KPIs, like what are the key performance indicators for success. We'll be finalizing them this week and the next. And on next Friday, I'll be spending a lot of time presenting the KPIs for you so you can understand what goals we want to hit. But that requires us to have a runway. We need to be able to actually do the things we need to and be around for that. So we need to make sure that we have wrapped VTRU, since no exchange can handle rebases, as I just pointed out. And our goals for liquidity are for the listing plus liquidity for the wrapped VTRU and for the VTRO DEX token that we'll also have a 500K and 250K respectively. But that's the floor, like that's the minimum. We got to go past that. So I outlined the scenarios. They pretty much align with sort of the round figure $1 million multiple. So if we get to 2 million, so when we get to 2 million, actually, we can do essentially a monthly burn of 100K, which is less than what we need in order to actually achieve things. But I'm presenting it here. So if we do that, then our liquidity thresholds will be 550K for VTRU and 250 for VTRO. And we will be able to approach this with a $2 price target and a market cap of 120 million. 150K, we are now in safe territory where, yes, we can operate, we can achieve our goals, we can have the monthly constrained burn rate of 150K. So with this, we have a higher liquidity for VTRU, 900K, VTRO is 300K, and we would have a price target of $3 with a market cap of $180 million. Moving on, now we are getting into optimal territory. So if we get to our stretch goals of 4 and beyond, then we can do a monthly burn rate of 200K. We can have significantly more VTRU liquidity, 1.25 million, and significantly more VTRO liquidity of 350K. And then we would be able to approach the listing with a $4 price target and a market cap of 250 million. Our stretch goal is 5 million. And this represents the optimal scenario for us, because then we would be able to have a burn rate that actually allows us to acquire users much faster. The burn rate is ultimately about achieving business goals, right? In order to achieve business goals, you got to do development, you got to do marketing, you got to do sales, you got to do partnerships, you got to actually get creators onboarded, etc. Because on the one side, we get the creators, and on the other side, we get more and more people on the crypto investment side interested in our coins that are on the exchange. I always like to tell people that, so far, most art-related projects and most crypto-only projects have failed, because on the crypto side, you need to have some utility. You can't just throw out a coin there and say that, okay, great, everyone's going to be excited about it. No, that's not going to happen. You need something. That something for us is art. On the art side, there's a lot of people with capital, but they may not appreciate art at all. But you know what they do appreciate is the ability to make money from art as long as someone else is dealing with the art. And that's what Vitruvio has created. We've created a crucible where we can align the interests of crypto investors and artists and art enthusiasts. And no one has ever done that before. And VTRU, the coin VTRU, is how that incentive of the incentive alignment is represented. And this is why I'm very confident we are going to be extremely, extremely successful, because artists are going to do their thing. Collectors and appreciators are going to collect their art. And in the process, the crypto investors are going to see the value of that token rise, and therefore they are going to make money in the process. So this is why I'm very, very excited about this particular alignment of interests. So at the 5 million level, we would be able to really scale fast, and we would be able to list with a price target of $5 and have a market cap of 300 million. All right. So now that we've presented that, first of all, time for a sip of chai. Now, let's talk about how we're going to make sure that this capital is secure and is essentially controlled using the governance rules that we have set out. So what I'd like to present here is a multi-sig strategy. So what we like to do is create 3 Treasury multi-sigs under the control of the Senate, the 9-member Senate. And those 3 Treasury multi-sigs would be a general fund, a VTRU liquidity multisig, and a VTRU liquidity multisig. And what we would do is basically use a marker of every 500K. So every 500K, what we do of funds accumulated, not raised, because we had liabilities from October previously that we've paid through the fund. So right now, even though our number says 508, there is not 508 available in the Treasury at the moment. So once we hit 500K in accumulated funds, then we start multi-sig transactions to transfer. So what we would do is we would take 60% and move it to the general fund. Why 60%? Because 60% is essentially 300K, which at the constraint level of 150K per month is 2 months runway. So we squirrel that away, and then we put 25% into the VTRU liquidity fund, and we put 15% into the VTRU liquidity fund. So basically all 3 multi-sigs, they grow every 500K, and the funds are distributed evenly. So we don't only put things in a general fund for operating capital and starve the liquidity, or we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that everything is funded so in parallel, so there is a confidence level from the investors that yep, we are actually going to achieve this goal. So as that liquidity amount goes up, we get closer to the point where we can go and get listed. So that's the purpose of the multi-sig strategy. Now let's get an exchange update. So we have been in ongoing conversations with multiple tier 2 and tier 1 exchanges. Some of the investors I worked with previously are actually the ones who are introducing us to tier 1 exchanges, and those conversations have been initiated. 3 things that will determine when the listing is done. I cannot give you a hard date because of these 3 things. 1, booster sales reached 3 million. I think that's I've always been consistent about that. Now, if we are approaching capital raises at an interesting time, the market is trending upwards, but it's also sort of Thanksgiving here in the United States, and after that, maybe a couple of weeks, and after that, it's the holidays, and so we don't have a lot of active time in order to do our fundraising. But we are going to give it our very, very best shot and make sure that we can get to this threshold as quickly as possible. If for whatever reason we are unable to get to the threshold in December, January is really a very positive time for capital raising, and so we can be very quick in January, very agile, and get there. So the booster sales is one threshold target. The next item is the development of the wrapped VTRU contract is completed. I alluded earlier, that's something that has to happen in order for us to list on exchanges. It's night and day difference, right? If we approach, and we have approached exchanges with like, oh, we want to list a rebasing token. They're like, all right, meet our engineering team. Let's make a project plan and let's figure out the cost. And we can have, a 6-month plan and development, etc., in order to get your rebasing to a coin listed. We go to them with a wrapped token that conforms to the ERC20 standard. And they go like, Jan, we can do this in a day, in an afternoon, That's what we have. So we're going to take on the work of creating that wrapped contract. That way, the exchange, each exchange that we hit, it's easy. It's more or less instant, because we are not doing anything different than what they are set up for. If we didn't do this with every exchange, it would be a negotiation, development, customization, etc., and it would be a nightmare. But we want to scale up, and have a few exchanges as quickly as possible. And finally, the exchange and market maker agreements have to be finalized, because those are super important for us to ensure that we can maintain and grow the price. All right. So as I mentioned, our exchange target has not changed. We are projecting January 2024. Again, all of this has to fall into place at exactly the time. So I can give you a rough estimate, but it all depends on these things happening. If we can do it earlier, we'll certainly do it earlier. But January is when we are projecting the exchange listing to occur. All right, let's now go into the next part is talk about our Nexus NFT. Now, I spent a lot of time in Discord this morning and also last night. Lots of questions there about how things work, etc. And I wanted to do sort of a little deep dive into the Nexus NFT and how it works. I wanted to have examples, but unfortunately, time was short, and I couldn't do that. But maybe we'll do it for another download. But here, I wanted to at least give you some basics and understand and explain and answer the top questions I get. So let's get into that. But first, a sip of chai. All right, Nexus NFT it is. Okay, so what you're seeing here is sort of a visual representation of what your Nexus NFT is going to be. This is what you're going to be airdropped on or about December 1. So the Nexus NFT is your membership card, if you will, in the VTRU ecosystem. It has the following. So first and foremost, from a token standpoint, it has how many Genesis tokens you are owed. It has how many perks you're eligible for. So we'll talk about how the perks are calculated, but basically it's proportionate share. So depending on how many total Genesis tokens are and how many of those are yours, we can do the math and calculate what the perks are. It's calculated using a unit called basis points. That's a financial unit. Extra is, it means how many tokens did you boost this Nexus NFT with? So those would go in there. They are different from your Genesis ones. The reason they're different is because your Genesis tokens are used to calculate a certain amount of your perks and a certain amount of your rev share, and your extra tokens are then used to calculate additional perks and additional rev share, depending on which boosters you have and how many tokens you got, and so on and so forth. So you also have a vesting schedule here, and each little rectangle down below there represents a 30-day period, and it tells you in basis points what the percentage vesting is. So 25 means 0.25, 30 means 0.30, 819 means 8.19%, and so on and so forth. So that's what that section is, and that changes based upon the boost, right? So every time you boost, those numbers increase, and you want them to increase because it means you're vesting faster. And last but not the least, on the bottom, your Nexus NFT also gives you voting rights in the DAO. So in previous downloads, I've explained how we are using quadratic voting, so to minimize the impact of large token holders in the voting. So here, with the Nexus NFT, it has your votes, and it also has your delegated votes. What delegated means is that not everyone has the time or the wherewithal to participate in all the votes that we're going to have with the DAO. So what you can do is you can just delegate your vote to someone else. So you essentially say that, you know what, I'm not going to be around a whole lot. I trust you to make decisions. So here's my vote. And you can hand it off to them. And so they have your voting, they vote on your behalf as your delegate. And you can get that back anytime you want to. You can just get that back and say that, well, you're doing a terrible job. I want it back. And you can delegate to different people. So you can delegate some votes to some people, one person, and more votes to another person, and so on. On the right-hand side, you see the functions that you'll be able to execute with the Nexus NFT. So as I mentioned earlier, we're building a DApp. So you'll be able to go to that dashboard and you'll be able to see all the stats that are important to you. You'll be able to see how many tokens you have, how many are already vested, how many will be vested, how many are what the rebase amounts are, how many you've claimed, and all of that. So just think about all these numbers in a dashboard that will make it pretty. The initial version of it is probably not going to be highly full featured because we're trying to get this out very quickly, but in time, in over a period of 2 or 3 months, it will be very refined and very, very nice. But the functions you're going to have here are, first of all, claim VTRU. So whenever you have a situation where there's vesting going on, what happens is there is a portion that's vested and there's a portion that's unvested. And because this is blockchain and things don't happen asynchronously like they happen in Web 2, in blockchain, a transaction has to occur in order for any change of state. So for tokens to move from one place to another. So when you choose to claim VTRU, you are initiating a transaction. And what it's going to do is go and see that, well, how many of this Nexus NFT tokens are vested already? And it's going to take those tokens and it's going to drop them into your wallet. So they're free and clear. You can do whatever you want to with them. In addition to those tokens, it's going to drop the rebase also for that. So every time you claim VTRU, if there's been any rebases, you're not only going to get whatever's vested, but whatever's rebased also in there. The next thing is claim perks, claim rev share, and delegate votes. I actually have slides for each one of these. So let's just go through it that way. So the claiming allocated VTRU, just to reinforce, right? You can claim whenever you want, right? You can claim as often as you want, but you might come up empty. If 30 days have not elapsed and you claim, well, if you just claimed, there's nothing to claim anymore. And so it'll come up empty. But if you wait a month or 2 months or 3 months, then you have essentially a cluster of vested VTRU that are waiting there. And so those will be available for you and they will be immediately available in your account. So think of the Nexus NFT as a card that controls your ability to claim your tokens, right? So your vested VTRU and your rebased VTRU will immediately be available in your account. What do I mean by that? Like in your wallet. So if you use MetaMask, you can view it that way. If you use Rainbow, you can view it that way. You can use both simultaneously. It doesn't matter. That's how blockchain account works. A blockchain account is on the blockchain and your wallet is just a way. It's like a lens onto that account. So you can use as many wallets as you want at the same time. No tokens are ever on any blockchain in your wallet. It's a misconception a lot of people have that tokens are in their wallet. They are not. A wallet is merely a tool to look at your balance of an account on the blockchain and a tool to sign a transaction to change that. So anyway, when you do a claim, your vested VTRUs, your rebase VTRUs, boom, immediately available in your account. What can you do with that? Whatever you wish. You can send those to someone else. You can use those in a game or whatever dApps are available, whatever you want. They're free and clear and you can do whatever you want. Now, one of the nice things is if you leave these tokens to sit in your account, if there's any rebases, you will automatically, by doing nothing, see the number of tokens grow in your wallet. And you've seen me do demos of this where I've had the MetaMask wallet up, and just by sitting there, a rebase occurs and the balance just goes up. And it's a magical and amazing feeling. And you cannot do this on any other protocol because every other protocol that has rebasing uses a smart contract. We built this into the protocol, and that's why we can automatically have your wallet balance increase from rebasing. All right, so that's how claiming of allocated VTRU works. Next up is how to claim perks. Now, this is something that a lot of people are very confused about, so I'm going to take it slow and explain it step by step, but always some chai. Okay, so your perks VTRU And there's various categories. There's 3 categories. There's the OG one, there's the validators one, and there's the boosters one. So there are 3. There are basically 3 vaults. So these are vesting in the vaults daily over 730 days. Now, note the difference. Your allocated VTRU vest monthly, every 30 days. The perks tokens are vesting daily over 730 days. So it's basically 2 years. Now, the problem or the challenge is that those vested perks are not available until a rebase occurs. So when a rebase occurs, the protocol checks for what are all the vested perks that are available. So let's say that 3 days have elapsed since a rebase occurred. So that you have 3 days of vested perks just sitting in the vault there, ready. That's when the protocol grabs those and puts them into a perk pool. So, and this is applies to all 3 pools, right? That that amount of VTRU that is in the pool is now immediately available for anyone to claim, provided they hold a Nexus or a validator NFT. You have to have that. We haven't talked about validator NFTs yet because it's very much like the Nexus NFT, except it's specific to a validator. So you need the validator because, you need the Nexus NFT because if you recollect here, this is how it tracks your perks, but you've also got that claim function. You can claim your perks, right? So you can claim all or a portion of your perks anytime you want, anytime. Whatever's accumulated, boom, you can get that. You get the rebases also, right? Now this is the tricky part. Claims for your perks can be made as often as you want, but every time you claim, you are essentially pulling out of the perks program for the portion that you have claimed. So let's say that you claim 20% of your perks, all right? Now you only have 80% remaining. Perks are not, and I'll repeat this again and emphasize, perks are not something that you can just keep coming and claiming as much as you want every month or every day or whatever. You can claim as often as you want, but every time you claim, you reduce your share of perks. So in this example, when you claim 20%, only 80% is remaining. What happens to the remaining 20% in the future? Well, that 20% gets divided among all the people who are still there. So if you want to get your perk sooner, you're more than welcome to do that. You will get it out, but you forfeit that portion, the portion you've removed, you forfeit that forever after that. Okay. So the best strategy for claiming perks, if you want to maximize and get the most perks possible, is to wait until the perks are fully vested. So that would be 730 days and fully rebased, which would be approximately 5 years. So if the perks program isn't intended to be a sort of just get in there and claim whenever you want. You can, but you won't be handsomely rewarded. If you want to be maximally rewarded, then you let it sit there for approximately 5 years, and then you've got the maximum rebasing, and you can claim 100% because it's not going to change anything about it. The benefit of sticking around also is that if in your calculations you have a certain number X, if other people are claiming their perks, guess what? Your share keeps going up higher and higher and higher. So this is one specific situation where patience is financially rewarded. Your patience holding is going to guarantee you more VTRU. That's basically the lowdown on perks, and hopefully this helped everyone get a better understanding on it. All right, the next thing is rev share. Now rev share is different from perks. Claim rev share whenever you want. So as we proceed and we get more sales and the fees come in, etc., we'll have recurring income, right? So that's your rev share. It goes into pools. You have a certain amount that's yours. Go in there, transfer it to your account. It's immediately yours. You can do that as often as you want. So think of rev share as the recurring income, which you can do hourly, daily, weekly, whatever you want, whatever frequency. There is no limit to the rev share claiming. Think of perks as your 401k. Okay, it's your longer term thing. It's you got to keep it there, and if you keep it there, you won't pay any penalties or anything like that. Like if you withdraw early from a 401k, you pay a sizable penalty. It's just like that. Your penalty with perks, if you withdraw early, is claim early, is you forfeit amounts, right? So rev share, recurring income, perks, long-term income. Now, you need to have a booster in order to get either of these. So if you don't have a booster and you don't boost it, you're not getting this. So now the only other option is if you are a validator. Of course, if you're a validator, you're getting a rev share and perks also. So these are the conditions under which you can have a recurring income from VTRU. So if you believe in our vision of becoming the world's most dominant platform for creators to transact in commerce with buyers and art appreciators, etc., then this is for you, because you're going to get fairly significant rev share. If you don't believe it and you don't think we can achieve our goal, then the rev share is not going to get you much, and also the token price is not going to get you much. But if we are successful with the sales, and I am 1,000,000% confident that we will be, then there's going to be a significant rev share over time, because the number of creators and the number of artworks they create is not finite. It is unbounded. There is an infinite number of creators, and each can create an infinite number of artworks, and they can list them. And not only that, each can be multiplied. So I can put an artwork on the protocol and say it's a 1 of 100 edition. So without me doing any more work, I can sell 100 copies of that, which means 100 sales, which means 100 fees from those sales that go into the rev share, which you can then claim. So that's what rev share is all about. All right, so hopefully that was a good primer on the Nexus NFT. Now I want to, for a new audience, anyone who's here, I want to talk a little bit about boosters. I tend to be a little quick about it because this information has been made available before. So if you're seeing this for the first time and it's too fast for you, we do have this information on our website, and you can follow along. So essentially, we are in the process of a sales campaign for booster NFTs. So think of a booster or a super booster NFT as a voucher. So it has a value claim, and you can only unlock it when you use it. And you saw about how you use it a little earlier. So using a booster is called boosting, and you can boost any wallet, and you can boost it with any wallet. So you can buy a booster with any wallet you want, and you can boost any wallet you want. And we have the boosters available on both Ethereum and BSC. So they are available with stable coins on Ethereum. You can buy for USDC or USDT, and on Binance you can buy with BUSD or USDT. So these are delivered. So when you do buy one, you buy through a DApp, and that DApp actually is backed up by an API, a server API, and that server API, we run a batch job every 24 hours to drop your booster into our protocol, the VTRU MainNet release candidate 1. So that's how, and you can go back to the buy page, and there will be a My Boosters there. You can click on it and you will see it. So generally within about 24 hours, sometimes a little bit over 30, especially if it's the weekend, you'll be able to see that. So how do boosters work? Well, you apply your booster to any account. If you apply it to an account that has a Nexus NFT, which 18,000 people are going to have when we airdrop them on December 1, it increases the capabilities of that Nexus NFT. Now, if you have an empty account, you don't have a Nexus NFT, we will auto airdrop a Maxim NFT in there. Maxim NFT is mostly identical to Nexus, except it doesn't have any Genesis tokens or things like that. So the idea behind a booster is you boost the capabilities of either of those NFTs. So for example, a booster that you buy for $150, it comes with 100 tokens. It comes with a vesting boot of 0.10%. So when you boost it, those capabilities get transferred to the Nexus NFT. So we have an ongoing sort of promotion where the first 1,000 with 7+ in the transaction are eligible for additional 5% of revenue share. So if you go here to our booster page and look, you can see that so far only 215 early birds have claimed. So this is an opportunity that is actually very, very large. 5% of all revenue share is very significant. And I'm amazed that it's actually still sitting there. I think maybe people don't recognize how large an amount 5% of rev share is going to be. And so far, only 200 people are going to share it, which is amazing for them. All right, so we have some gold milestones also. When we reach our gold milestones, there's bonus VTRU that goes out to everyone who's purchased the booster. So 2 million, 5%, all the way to 5 million, 20%. You can hold your boosters until the dashboard is available. I need to change the name to Nexus there, but it'll be available approximately December 1, give or take a couple days. At that time, you can use the boost feature, or you can just keep holding your booster NFT. You don't have to use it. You could also sell it to someone. You can transfer it, etc. We will create a marketplace for it, but someone else might beat us to the punch and create a marketplace for that. Anyone can create a DApp that allows boosters to be sold. They're just regular NFTs. All boosters will expire on April 30th, 2025. Now, we've already reviewed this, so I won't go over that. One important thing is boosters are also works of art. So you see the artworks behind me. There's 21 artists that have created amazing works of art. And each booster, when you buy one, you get a random one. So if you buy a whole bunch of them, you might have some duplicates in there. And eventually on the marketplace, you will be able to sell one and maybe buy another one. But when you boost, then that's when the artwork fully becomes visible. Let's see here. So more about that. As I said, I'm going to speed through this because it's been reviewed before, but I just want to make sure it's available to folks. All right, so let's talk about incentives here real quick. There are several incentives for boosters. There's the perks, which we've been talking about all this time. So boosters have, a 1.9 million VTRU pool that rebases to 9.5 million in 5+ years. And we'll know what your share is of that booster, of that perks pool, when all the booster sales are completed, using the formula your booster VTRUs divided by the total booster VTRUs. So that gives you a percentage share, pro rata share. The rev share is pretty straightforward. Whenever we sell an asset on the protocol, 2% of the sales amount goes into the rev share contract, and that contract then divides the rev into 4 parts. 30% goes to the DAO, validators get 35%, boosters get 30%, and then early birds get 5%. That's the 5% I was talking about. Now, there's one other thing you should be aware of. Asset sales revenues are not only for primary sales. We are giving artists the ability to define a royalty with each license. So one of the things that happens significantly, in fact, is the primary activity right now on OpenSea, Foundation, Blur, etc., is secondary sales, where people buy an artwork and then sell it at a profit. Sometimes several orders of magnitude price higher than the original price. So maybe they got the artwork in an edition drop or something where they paid like, $10. Then they go and sell that for $100. Now, that 2% royalty it comes out of every sale. So even secondary and tertiary and quaternary sales, you will get them. So the royalties that an artist gets, the protocol will get a portion of those always. So just because an artwork is sold once doesn't mean the revenue is done. It could have more revenue. In fact, it probably will as it changes hands. So this is an important thing to understand about the rev share, which is why I was saying that it seems odd to me that the 5% early birds is still there, because that is such a massive sort of benefit, which more people I thought would take advantage of, but they apparently haven't. All right, and this is the benefit we are talking about here. So early bird special, the first 1,000 booster transactions of 7 or more boosters in one transaction, they get an additional 5%. So that's what that 5% pool is for anyone who buys 7 or more boosters in a transaction. And you don't have to do multiple transactions just to get that. So we calculate the aggregate number. So like, for example, if you have 14 in there, you're going to have a higher percentage of the 5% rev share. We talked about sneakers. So just wanted to reiterate that every super booster purchaser gets one. So I know we have at least one super booster buyer. Thank you. We will have a very limited number available after all the giveaways are done for $120 each. So you can go do that also. We have a referral link, as you saw in the spreadsheet I shared earlier, which I will bring up again just to make sure everyone's seen it. There is a referral column here, so you can know who referred them, because they are eligible for 5% for both the referrer and referee. The only constraint is that if the current holder if the referee is a current holder or validator, it will not work. The booster website will enable the referral link connection. So if you want to get a referral link, go to the booster site and click on referral here, and you'll be able to get that. All right, we have the gold bonus tokens, which I referred to twice in this session, so I won't belabor you with that again. And we also recently announced a daily Genesis sneaker giveaway. It's a very short-term thing. We want to pick 2 lucky winners every day from all the booster buyers. It's just a 2-week thing, and it's already started. And our ecosystem team takes care of organizing that and reporting on that. Here's a quick list of the boosters that are available and what their prices are. So we are on the verge of getting the Nano Booster listed. It's slightly delayed, but we will have it here in a matter of maybe hours or a day, very quickly. We are almost wrapped up with it. So the Nano Booster will have its own marketing done with it, but essentially it's designed for folks who don't want or do not have the ability to buy a booster at $150 level. But with a Nano Booster, they can buy it at as little as $10. They get some VTRU coins out of it, and that's the primary benefit. It doesn't have other benefits associated with it. But all the other boosters, super boosters, have significant benefits associated with them. All right, so that is our download for today. You can find my deck at the link that's up there, VTRU.xyz/download-S1Ep9. So now let's have my friend Zach come up here again. Let's first of all get a pulse from you. What do you think of today's download? And then maybe we can dive into some questions.
Such a data dump. And for people who do watch this and want to see a bite-sized piece of this, there's the weekend review. And that we try to do the best we can to capture all of this hour worth of talk into around 15 slides that have jump tos to the sections. We like to put in how long you dedicate to each slide, and like the links that are associated with those, and also give you an opportunity to hit a question. So if there's a specific question you have about that section, you can ask it there, and we do check that regularly. Some people are using that, and we do appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, it's another one in the books, Nick. A great information, and going over boosters. I got a few questions for you that we've gathered throughout the week. A few that have been in this YouTube chat. You ready to hit a couple?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so let's start with an easy one right here. So, Nick, can we just click to claim rebases?
Just claim rebase.
So I'm thinking they're talking
I understand the question. It's not possible at all because, people think that a rebase is sort of something separate from tokens, etc. It's not. It's tied to the balance of tokens in your wallet. It's at a protocol level. It's not like every time there's a rebase, there's some job that runs and drops tokens into everyone's wallet. That would be insane. We couldn't do that because there would be millions of wallets and we would be running that job like every day and it would never get completed. The cost of running the job from a gas perspective would be high also. No, rebases are automatic at the protocol level. If you have a token sitting in your wallet and a rebase occurs, that token's the amount goes up. There is nothing anyone can do to stop it. There's nothing anyone needs to do to have it happen. It's automatic in the protocol. So just think of rebases as an it's compound interest, right? A rebase is just a compound interest. You don't do anything with your bank account to see the compound interest accumulate. You could be staring at the web page with the balance and it will increase. That's exactly how rebases work. So
that's why I flagged that one.
It's highly automated. It's at the protocol level and no one can change it. No one can claim it. No one can undo it. There's nothing possible. The only thing it's got a set of rules, right? The number of transactions that occur, that goal is met, boom, rebase occurs, and we're good.
Absolutely. That's why I flagged it. Just so we can clear the air on that. Rebases are standard, perks are something you claim.
Yep.
A lot of people group them in together. Does everyone who bought the 500K booster so far qualify for that 35% register share? And I believe it's 30 now. Is it 35?
Wait.
Go back to slides.
The rev share for hang on, let me just go to that screen here. It's in the I do have a slide for that. So give me a second. I'll go to it. Here we go. Yeah. So boosters have a 30% pro rata rev share, and so all boosters. So it doesn't matter whether it's a booster or a super booster, you get a portion of that. Nano boosters don't get it, and there's a separate pool for early birds. So before the DAO was at 35%. And then we pulled 5% from the DAO and added it to early birds. But the boosters was always 30%, never 35.
Correct. So it is 35. This one's for me. So we're talking about the Bitcoin sacrifices, and that was something we actually spoke upon yesterday, correct? Yes.
Let me just kind of hint at where we are going with this. So basically everyone who made a BTC kind of purchase has a wallet and that's what the problem we are trying to solve, right? Which wallet is it? So what we're going to do is ask you to sign essentially a BTC transaction and put in the memo field, which is very limited, the first 4 and last 2 digits of your address, which are very unique. So you sign that, and we know which address you have. So that's you therefore have proven to us your BTC wallet. So that's the process we're going to have you do.
And from my end, we're going to be putting out a message to help identify you in the Discord server. So that's coming out probably at least by Monday morning. It'll probably go out Saturday, but by no later than Monday. Same thing with Senate stuff. We have the list, and I'm going to publish that shortly with everyone who nominated themselves and the people that may not know that they were nominated, and allow you guys to talk in a channel that will be read-only for you, and you can state your points of why you want to be on the Senate. And then we'll probably have like a meeting, a town hall right before the voting opens for you to come up and talk if that's something that you're interested in doing. I want to give everyone a platform to be able to speak their piece about wanting to be a Senate member.
Yep.
Next question. Navy. talking about the typical spend being around 150K. I'm curious. He was curious about what the expected pay is going to be on the 15th.
I haven't done the math yet, but remember, we've got the two marketing expenses that we have in there. So those are outliers. So pretty much every pay period so far, we've had outlier expenses that people need to be aware of. And so those bump up the base. So the base is pretty straightforward, but because we are doing all these campaigns, the amount goes up for that. So I will submit that to the Senate on the 15th.
Okay. Senate seats are not paid positions. No. I have a. This is an interesting one. Are we going to do any sort of like ICO IDO sale once it goes to when we start doing like the DEX and token sales for exchanges?
I'm a little bit confused by that because we are kind of in the process of doing that right now.
Kind of.
So it's not. When we do the DEX, etc., we've already done the sales, right? So it's just a matter of assigning those tokens to the holders. So right now we are raising additional capital beyond the seed. So no, we won't be doing this. Now, in the future, there might be an offering if you want to raise more capital, but I don't plan on any of it right now.
Cool. All right. I appreciate that. All right. And I have some offline questions that we gathered throughout the week. So this was one that is interesting. How fast is our blockchain in comparison to the heavyweights? Like, what do we have an idea of what our TPS is?
We don't yet, but here's the thing: we are not trying to be the fastest or the most high performance blockchain. We are taking Go Ethereum out of the box. We have it essentially pegged at a 5-second per block time interval, and that's what it is. Over time, like we are not going to tune it for high performance or anything like that. Maybe that's something that happens in the future, but currently that's not at all on the horizon. So it's whatever it is out of the box is what it's going to be.
Would you?
Yeah, we're not trying to do like a real-time gaming or something like that over here. Yeah.
But would you say that it will be as fast or maybe faster than, say, Ethereum currently?
Well, yeah, because by virtue of the fact that it's proof of authority and we've got the 5-second block time, we basically collect as many transactions as we can, process them, and then take the next spool and do that. That's what the validators are doing. So at busy times when there's a surge, that changes things and the queue gets large. But otherwise, you can expect that your transaction gets processed in the next 5 seconds.
It won't be a Hedera 10,000 transaction per second kind of thing, but it'll be quick.
Yeah, those are good problems for a protocol to have, where we are getting so much activity that we have to rethink the protocol, etc. So if we are doing that and we have that many transactions, what it also means is we have capital to bring in the engineering talent to do that. So it's a good problem to have.
Cool. So here's a little heat check on what I know we can't go into tons of specifics because of certain characters, but could you comment on like maybe the thoughts or how these external fundraising meetings are going? They're not asking for any specifics, but they would just like to know what your general feel is.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I've already expressed this several times on every download. I'll tell you, like, it's a pattern. With when you raise capital, you first of all get intros to investors in the space that you are in. So for us specifically, it's investors who would be investing in crypto infrastructure, blockchain being a crypto infrastructure. You're not going to be able to slice this so finely that you're going to be able to find crypto investors interested in art-centric projects. Now, that's not it. So we are looking essentially for crypto investors who invest in infrastructure, because blockchain is that. You get a warm intro to them. You start off by doing an outbound sort of small intro with a blurb. the goal is to get a meeting. You get a pitch meeting. You tell your story. Hopefully, it's with someone at the organization who is influential enough to take the deal to a decision maker. Generally, that's your general partner. So then there might be a follow-up meeting with that general partner and a few more, depending on the size of the firm. Like if it's a small firm, 2 people or whatever, they're usually on the call right away. But if it's a larger firm, you may have to pitch twice, sometimes thrice. You do that, and then you start, if there's interest, you start talking deal terms and then consummate the deal. At no time is any VC ever going to say no. They usually are like, well, we are thinking about it given the situation and the information that's presented to us now. If the situation changes, come back to us, right? So that's how it is. So it's a numbers game. You keep pitching, and one of the things is once you have a few investors who like the deal, etc., they are likely to refer you to others and get there. And a lot of investors co-invest, like, so if A does a deal, then B will also come in, and so on and so forth. But regardless of whether they invest or not, you always ask them for a referral to someone else, so then you can continue pitching. And that's basically how it goes. It's a numbers game. It's grinding it out. You just do it.
You can also say that also VCs fall into the FOMO category in their own right. 1 second.
Yeah, that does happen. So, and we are approaching global VCs, not just limited to the US or anything like that, or Silicon Valley. Oh,
the UPS man needs me. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
I'll be right back.
All right. So while he's there, there's a few start questions here. I'm going to look at those. All right. So here's a question. Nick, any forward with Kyle's Discord pin message from a week ago about helping people with potentially hacked wallets since they sacrifice? So we actually did been doing some research on it. It's not a very high number. So we can work with those folks individually. And now that I announced today that we will allow you to swap out your wallet completely, I think it addresses that problem. So the answer is yes, we will give a path forward for people with potentially hacked wallets. So I'm going to have the ecosystem team follow up individually with all those folks who reported a hacked wallet so that we can essentially go through the process with them. We'll keep it pretty simple. We'll have them do a quick KYC, verify the identity, and then verify their ownership of the wallet that's been hacked, and essentially prove that they were participating in the transaction. And once that we have that verification, we can allow them to have their wallet swapped out. So yeah, I was just going to the start messages while you were off there.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I actually got a Web3 related thing in the mail.
All right.
It was it's a project that does alcohol. Actually, it's so you get the NFT and they have like a mailing service, and they needed my ID to make sure I was 21. But yeah, okay, cool. And no, Cappy, I'm not running a dog fighting ring on the side. I have a 35-pound Australian Shepherd. She wouldn't be very good in a fight. She's just got a bad bark. Cool. And then, all right, so where was I on my list? A lot of them had to do with wondering if every purchase, and you did cover this, so far in the booster sale is qualified for early boosters in some way, whether it was they bought 2 separate times from 2 different chains, if they would still be qualifying for that additional 5% rev share.
Come again. I'm sorry. I got a little lost in that.
Oh, sorry. So a lot of the questions revolve around that they've made multiple transactions, and they want to make sure that potentially from 2 different wallets, that everything they would still be falling under that early bird category still.
Yeah. So the early bird one is very clear. one transaction has to have 7. So you cannot consolidate multiple ones and make that. But if you have more than 7 in one, you do get the additional rev share. That's not a problem at all.
Yeah, in these examples, it was I bought 11 and I bought an additional 9, and the one was I bought 20 and then I bought 12.
Yeah, so both of those are valid early bird transactions, and both of those get the rev share. Yeah.
Cool. And then I have someone who asked if they could trade in their sneakers for additional Vitruvio tokens.
Yeah, we don't have any such provision.
So I think that was the giveaway. Someone's bullish though on the token though. Let's see. I think I have one more on here, and then I'll go back to the Discord, do a final sweep, and go through the YouTube comments, do a final sweep. So there was a lot of questions about some boosters not going out on time, or and there was some issues which we had this week with our council lead having to take some family time.
Yeah, I mean, look, those boosters, other than making you feel good, right now they just need to be in your account. So we are doing it as a manual process because it's a new chain. We want to monitor it and make sure everything goes smoothly. So it's a human thing. We try to do it every 24 hours. Like I said, maybe sometimes it's 30 hours or whatever. But you'll get your boosters. I mean, 100%.
And we are saying we are doing support tickets, all right? So if for some odd reason something doesn't match up, like you didn't receive the right amount of boosters or whatever, or they're not showing up on the booster panel, we are collecting transaction hashes and wallets just to double check and help you through that process. So if you are one of those people, open up a ticket under booster sales, and Bender or Kyle or myself will get into that. Or we have a big spreadsheet to go through over the weekend to just double check, make sure everyone is seeing this thing. It is like Nick says, it's a new chain. We got to make sure that everything has been done correctly, and then from the user side also that everything has been added properly and should be good to go. How can you check if your referral has been used? So if you go to the sneaker list, Jason, I just saw you join, or said that conversation, it'll be right there. Thank you, Nick. That was perfect timing.
Yep.
That dog knows something. That's funny.
Yeah, see a lot of other questions here earlier.
Oh, can you explain the abbreviations of ICO? So an ICO is an initial coin offering, or an IDO is an initial DEX offering? Biz asked that question. Thank you for that question. Question from Chaos Wolf. If you just bought one booster, but you decide later to buy 6 remaining, would you still qualify for early bird?
Yeah, it is one transaction, so that would require you to buy 7 in a new transaction to qualify for the early bird.
Cool. I'm gonna go to the Discord real quick. Do super boosters qualify for the early bird?
No.
Okay, that question just asked.
Yeah.
Holders. I got pinged in something. Can I? Yeah, I can. So Evelyn asked, "Who can I update the 35 winners of the sneakers?" Yeah, I can. I'll put that out later today. I have it in a nice little spreadsheet, and I will publish that. Okay. I think, unless you're seeing anything in the YouTubes that you want to answer, the last one I haven't seen. That last one that just came in. It was about Oxy.
I'm looking through. I don't see too many. Yeah, might have missed. What's the best way to personally contact Nick regarding super boosters? So the easiest thing to do is to go to my Twitter profile, and my calendar link is there. Maybe we can just put it up in a banner here. So let me do that. I'll just throw up my 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 calendar. It's cal.com/techbubble. That's what it is. If you go to cal.com/techbubble, you can sign up a meeting.
It's in his Twitter bio as well.
Yeah.
Any plans for a stable coin? Not yet. I mean, we would talk to someone like Circle, you know, and use an already existing stable coin, but that we haven't got that far yet.
Yeah, we're working on it.
And then can I consolidate, say, 10 sacrifice NFTs into a new wallet on November 15th? Well, maybe not November 15th, but when the Swapper app comes out, yes.
Yep.
So I think we have covered them. Oh, can you be onboarded as a creator without any current artwork?
Absolutely. Yeah. So a creator base and asset base are two different things. So you can sign up as a creator, get KYC'd, etc. And you know, we might have events, etc., for our creators, and you can participate in those, and you don't need to have any listing at that time. So,
Well,
yeah,
I think it would be really cool also for this person to start getting into that community of creators, learning about what they do want to build if they don't have something in mind. And it's always good to, you know, bounce ideas off other creatives, speaking as a creative. Cool. I think we're good.
All right. Well, that was fun. It was great to be here again and do this update. I really enjoy it every Friday. It is exhausting, but I do love it. You know. So thanks again for everyone. I really appreciate your support. We've got some major milestones coming up. A lot of things to get done in a very short amount of time. But we'll keep you posted. And thanks, and have a good weekend, everyone.
Happy Veterans Day, everyone.